Your defense attorneys aren't going to like this, but I say hats off to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. It's the first time they filed criminal charges as such in the case of neglecting a child as a social worker. I'm all for it. I wish it wasn't just child abuse and falsifying records. I wish it was second-degree implied malice. Between October of 2012 and May of 2013, as you mentioned, belt buckles, bruises, his busted lip. Listen to this. Embedded in his chest, that BB gun. And to me, writing a suicide note, and according to court documents, they said, well, he didn't say how he was going to carry out the suicide. So never mind. I'm telling you, it is. When I read this story, and I've been a reporter for decades, I actually have not been the same since.
Right. And I got to tell you, no 8-year-old should ever be writing a suicide note. Yeah. I mean, this is horrific. I also, I'm somewhere in the middle on this, because when I first heard this story, I thought, social workers have a hard job. They're overloaded. They don't make very much money, and they have a lot of cases and not a lot of support. And if somebody just makes a mistake on the job, I don't want them charged with a crime. However, the facts of this case really take it out of that, because 64 abuse complaints were made to the Department of Children and Family Services in this case that launched 8 separate investigations into this family. I mean, this is beyond the pale. So, Karamo, how is it possible that this kid was still in the custody of the mom and the boyfriend?
Well, I'm glad you brought up one point, because as a former social worker, we do get overworked, and sometimes things can slip through the crack. But I'm with you. This is ridiculous. These social workers need to be locked up and need to be held liable for this case. This is ridiculous. There is no way that you could come out and assess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times and say that there's nothing wrong and that this child was not taken out of the home. That is ridiculous. And this child's blood is on each of their hands, and they should go to jail.
Well, I do a lot of child abuse cases. It's awful to have to talk about the facts, but I feel like if they had to live it, if they had to endure it, the least we can do is talk honestly and use the real words about what happened. He was beaten with bats, clubs, metal hangers, belt buckles, doused with pepper spray, forced to eat cat feces and his own vomit. This poor little angel slept in a locked cabinet, unable to go to the bathroom. I mean, Wendy, in my opinion, this is not just abuse. This is actually torture.
This is absolute torture, and it went on for, we know, documented for many months. My suspicion is it went on for many years. And it's important that people understand, when a child talks about suicide, it's real. It's not just, he has a little depression, anxiety.
Didn't do it. The social workers weren't the one torturing him.
I think the bigger problem is that we can look at this child as this tiny little micro issue of a bad thing that happened, but this is an indication of the bad system. If this kid is out there, imagine how many other kids are out there tonight being beaten because social workers are not doing their job.
The system is the problem.
Troy, everybody deserves a defense. So go ahead.
The system is a problem when it's easier to file criminal charges against them than fire them. And in fact, one of these social workers was able to appeal and get their job back.
Right.